Sir?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Same old stuff, except it's Friday afternoon.
Dig that.
Oh, did I leave my water in here today? Sorry. Don't mind if I use all your drink holders, do you?
Use up all my cup holders, you bastard.
Oh, man. This is a good day?
Yeah, at least I had plenty to do. It was fine.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So, let us welcome everyone to another episode of The Commute.
Yep, I will be your driver.
And I will be your passenger. So, 3D printing.
Yeah.
You into it, not into it, interested? What's your take on it?
I think it's interesting technology, but it's new, expensive, just like everything new.
And until now, I mean, they've been able to do some neat stuff with it.
Mm-hmm.
Not super stuff, but stuff that happens, you say.
Yeah, I mean, if you need like an ornament for your tree, it can.
Yeah, I mean, and some people abuse it and make guns with them, and
yeah, I've seen that.
you know, there's like stuff. So it's kind of like, okay, it's neat, but you know, what's to come of it? Well, now they're finding ways, to help out medical issues.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that they're currently working on is, well, let me start out by this. First, they started out with, there was a 16-month-old baby,
mm-hmm.
and he had a problem where he had a weak, soft cartilage in his windpipe.
Okay.
So he would just stop breathing anytime he got upset. Even to the point, you know, like you change a baby's diaper and
they start freaking
they go
out.
crazy. He would stop breathing and turn blue.
Wow.
Like, just real bad. So what they were able to do was they were able to use a 3D printer to make a flexible splint to keep his windpipe open until it's able to strengthen itself. You know, it'll eventually get better.
Yeah.
But until then, and whatever material they made it out of, it will automatically dissolve. Yeah. So, and it wasn't the first time they did it. They did it with a 6-month-old a couple months back.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool, you know, putting it to good use for a change. It was a good story. They've also been able to use it with to reconstruct pieces of skulls that go bad.
Oh yeah, there you go.
They can make limbs. If you're missing a limb, they can reproduce it, and it's to the exactly how it was before, because they can, you know, say it's part of your arm, so you lose your hand. Well, they can take the hand you still have, take an image of it, and
copy it.
It's copied exactly. So then they want to take it a little further, and what they're doing now is they're making 3D organs. When you say organs, you know, 3D organs, they're making organs with these printers, and by the end of this year, 2014, they will. They're pretty sure they will have made a liver out of you know, these printers. They said 18 people a day die waiting for organ transplants. So what this printer does, it lays down living cells, you know, very thin layers of them at a time.
Yeah.
A piece of printer paper is, the thickness of it is 100 microns. They've been able to reconstruct a liver thickness of 500 microns right now. So 5 sheets of paper stacked up is as thick as they can go right now. You obviously need it thicker than that, but they're working on it. One of the other problems they have is they have issues with the vascular system, so it doesn't get any oxygen and it can't keep itself going. They said usually the liver tissue dies before they even get it off the table from the printer.
Really? Huh.
But they've been working on that, and they've been able to construct liver tissue that lasts for 40 days so far. So they have it.
That's pretty neat.
The thickness of 5 sheets of paper that can live for 40 days, and that's on its own. That's before, you know, they're hooking it into a body where it'll get better blood flow and oxygen sent to it. The bad thing about it, well, no, I won't say the bad thing about it, even though they expect to have created a full liver by the end of the year, it takes 3 to 10 years for clinical trials. So, you know, you're not going to be able to use it quite yet.
Yeah, it's not quite the what was that, the Fifth Element, right?
Yeah, you know, but there you go. It's
That's well
science getting its ideas from science fiction, and that's probably closer, to happening than even whatever year it was supposed to be in the Fifth Element.
Yeah.
Just technology is getting that crazy. But I thought that was really cool. That
is.
Finally something good out of it. And I never even really thought of it, but I thought all these 3D printers could print out was like plastic, some form of plastic. I never thought that they could use them. Just it depends, whatever you're putting in it to print out, whatever material, that's what it's putting out there.
Yeah, the other thing I saw that did, something similar to it, but it was, they in grocery stores and stuff, they take those images of whatever, like somebody's face or something, and you put it on a birthday cake, like a picture. It kind of airbrushes it on. You ever seen that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can take in like any photo, like a family photo, like of your kid or something, and you want that on a birthday cake. You can they'll scan it in, and it'll airbrush that image onto the cake.
And that's with a 3D printer?
No, that's just with a regular
capabilities. Oh, yeah. You can even buy those sheets if you want in your own printer.
Yeah, the vellum.
And be able to put them on the cakes.
But the other one I saw was like it was a chocolate printer. You could put whatever you wanted into it.
Oh.
Any kind of image, and it would print it out in chocolate. So like if you had like a face or something made,
that could really help a lot of guys get some ladies. If you could be real creative with that, bring a gift. That's not only a chocolate penis. That's my chocolate penis.
Scan that in for you. Aren't you lucky?
Yeah, I almost burnt my shit putting it on the scanner. I had to close the lid on it. But you're welcome. Now melt that in your mouth. Maybe in your hand. I don't know. Whatever you're looking for. Oh, man. My problem with those things, if I did the cake printer thing, I'd have the paper for it. I just never have ink.
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, well.
It's always the way.
Sorry, everything in the picture looks yellow and blue.
We just threw away 2 printers, too. Just because we got sick of buying the ink for them. It was all different kinds of inks and everything else. And
so what do you use now?
We bought a new Canon over Christmas when everything was on sale. So, but this one's wireless, so we hooked it up to all the devices and everything.
Dude, having a wireless printer
is amazing.
The best. It's just we keep ours in a I don't know what to call it. My wife has a fancy word for it, but that closet thing.
The cabinet.
The cabinet, yeah. I know it's got some other name, but it's a cabinet. It's a closet that sits against your wall. I don't know. But we just keep ours in there, and then you hit print, you can open the door and get your stuff.
And this does everything. I mean, you can scan stuff into it. And
yeah, that's what ours does. Printer, scanner,
fax, whatever.
Who faxes anymore?
Yeah,
People call it work. Like, how can I fax that to you? I'm like, well, not really. You can.
Have you seen this
email
PDF technology? It's amazing.
You have a scanner. I like if I'm talking to old people, they're like, well, when my daughter gets home, she can do it for me. Like, yeah, because she's going to love that. She wants to come home on a Friday afternoon and scan stuff for you. Do her a favor. Don't ask her to teach you how to do it.
No.
Because that's going to take longer than anything she'll ever have to print for you, like the rest of her life.
Just teach me to do it so I can do it next time. No.
Because you won't be able to next time.
Not just no. Fuck no.
But the other ways, to get back to the 3D printing, the other ways that they're saying 3D printing will be able to help with any kind of medical issue is it's going to cut down the transplant list. They said easily by 20%, because people are waiting for organ transplants all the time. Well, and they can just print them up.
Yeah. Well, the other thing with that too is the cells that they're printing with it's the people's cell. They're actually taking the person's cells, making cells out of them, and they're printing like their own cells.
Right,
so
stem cells.
The rejection goes down to 0.
Oh, sure. It's going to take. Look at this nut job.
Okay, you are the king.
Yeah, it says it's so on the back of the truck. King me.
The road is yours.
Wow.
You don't have a like my driving
He's the owner
sticker.
And the operator.
Yeah.
Oh, good for you,
love
Chief.
that move.
Other ways, they can regulate diabetes. by giving people new organs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because that's the problem with diabetes. They can just bink and, you know, saving you all kinds of money. You know, no matter what it costs to do this, in the long run, it's going to...
Oh, yeah, it's saving lives.
Not just saving money, but saving lives, yeah.
All around.
They can use it to graft skin on burn victims.
Yeah, that's...
You need skin. They said they'll be able to make new skin for you, put it on, and it'll be the exact... They'll know exactly how thick, you know, they scan it in, and it makes it the exact match. You know, you're not even going to be able to tell.
Well, I mean, there's those anthropologists that, like, they do those things back from the skull where they can kind of mold and see, like, what the person's, you know, face looked like from just the depth and contours of the skull.
Yep.
So, man, like, if you had nothing left, like, oh, man, how about that lady that got her face ripped off by the chimp?
How about the monkey?
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus.
Her face is fucked, dude.
There is no face there.
No, it's just
so,
a hole.
Yeah.
They could be able to give her a whole new head. That was the next thing. Missing limbs, we already talked about. They were able to reconstruct 75% of a man's skull up to now. So, and that's just right now.
Yeah.
You know? Dental health.
Oh, yeah.
They're able to
print some new teeth for you.
Print some teeth, whatever you need, crowns. And they said that'll cut down on cost significantly because now they have to make physical molds and put them in and match them. They said now they just would have to scan your head,
image it,
and bam, you know, it makes the teeth. So
that's interesting.
A lot of cool stuff going into it. You know, and I guess and that's just what I came across. But I imagine if you're in any kind of medical field, you're going to want to use this technology to your advantage.
And again, it's another one of those, you know, things that are just, it's just game changing what you can do with something like that. And if you're printing cells, I mean, you're not too far off from, like, printing, you know, proteins or making food. So then you got, like, those the things from Star Trek, the tea-year-old gray, you know. They could already make the teacup, but now
it's going to make the tea.
They'll be able to make the water. Yeah, that'll be amazing.
Yeah,
so it's something for our kids to look forward to.
Yeah, we'll probably never be able to
see.
Although if they're saying they're going to have, you know, it takes 3 to 10 years for the clinical trials.
Yeah.
10 years, we'll be in our 40s.
Be ready for a new liver by then?
I'm working on it, so now I don't feel bad.
Yeah.
I'm going to drink up my face off, take some cells off my hands, scrape away.
Your raggedy liver will last at least until then. So.
Right. No, it's not quite Swiss cheesy yet, you know? So, there we go. I'm thinking about drinking in the daytime now, so.
Yeah, that, I wonder, I mean, replacing, like, I mean, not just bone, but, like, sections of, like, brain tissue or something. I wonder if that...
Yeah. Why not?
How would that work, like, neurologically, like...
Yeah, you have to link it up.
Because, well, I'm just thinking that because, like, the brain is so pliable, like, would it be able to rebuild sections of...
I mean, at least rebuild it, attach it on, hope that something will fire on, you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
And in that case, I mean, if you can recreate sections of the brain, you can cure almost, I don't want to say any disease, but any mental disability you can fix.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm sure they would start with dementia as being the one.
Man, that's exactly what I was thinking, because, like, I got on that Louis Theroux kick, and I was flipping through, like, his newer documentaries, and one of them was on, like, dementia and, like, dementia victims and stuff. Oh my God, how depressing that is, man. One of the ladies that he featured on there, well, his whole family, but she was 49.
49.
Diagnosed with dementia, and like she was already, like, the doctors are saying within 2 years that she's not going to be able to remember her husband or her 8-year-old kid's name.
Oh my God.
At all. Like, won't even recognize them. And now, like, her husband, he, like, gave her a cell phone, and he wanted her just he's like, here, I'll show you, you know, and she's okay with it. She's like, oh, whatever, you know, I know. She kind of knows what's going on now. You know, there's nothing she can do. There's nothing anybody can do. But, you know, he gave her the cell phone. He's like, I want you to dial our home phone number. And, like, she, like, knows numbers. She can read the numbers. But by the time, like, you tell her the number, and by the time she goes to type the number, she can't do it.
Ugh.
Like, it's completely impossible for her.
You know, and not that it's ever okay to get it, but you know, you're 85, 90, you start to get dementia. You know, you live your life, but 49 and you got young kids, you still have a good chunk of your life to live.
That's the other tragic thing. That, like, another couple that they showed, you know, they're both like in their 80s.
Watch this prick.
Yeah, I know.
How bad? It must be the king's cousin.
Yeah, he's just as important. Fucking jester. Yeah, it's this other couple, like, they were in their 80s, and his wife came down with dementia, and he was still taking care of her, but, like, she can't do anything on her own. I mean, she can't go to the bathroom, can't do anything, and he's in his 80s too, and they don't have any kids. It's just them. There's nothing else.
What do you do, you know?
Right.
You may not have the money for a nursing home.
And the younger guy, this is what he was talking about too, is like, he's like, you know, people with this disease can live, 20 or more years still. And he's like, 20 or more years with her and whatever care she needs. She's like, how are you going to take care of an 8-year-old kid?
Yeah.
Like that, you know? And he's like, he was talking to lawyers about, like, you know, getting a divorce from her and have her turn her over as a ward to the state.
Oh.
To be in that kind of position,
right?
You know,
yeah. It's horrible.
You know, people that you love, you can't even. It's gonna break you financially.
It's gonna break you financially. It's gonna break you mentally, spiritually.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's just gonna.
In 2 years, they're gonna be broken mentally when she can't remember.
Probably a perfectly good family.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And for nothing, and you can't blame anything or anybody. And then you have all this anger that you can't target to anywhere.
Yep. Like, exactly. It's crazy.
You know, and for the kid to see her parent, you know, go through that.
Oh yeah.
She's not gonna have a parent. She's gonna have one parent.
Yep.
You know.
She pretty much does now. I mean.
Yeah.
She can't really do anything with her.
And then for him, it's like getting an extra kid.
Yep.
You know, to take care of.
Yep. Exactly.
Well, hopefully the 3D printing will be able to fix that.
They're going at that from all angles.
They're doing a lot of work on that disease.
Yeah.
They're really trying, really pushing, and supposedly, man, I don't know exact things, but you hear a lot that they're making a lot of progress on it, a lot of medicine, a lot of procedures to really help it out. So, looks like we have on Kickstarter a bear simulator.
Yeah, I knew how hyped up you were about the goat simulator.
So is it just as entertaining looking as the goat simulator?
I don't know. To me, it kind of looked a little better because it was
better than the goat simulator.
Because the goat simulator was like the third person kind of over the shoulder point of view. Well, the bear simulator it's first person.
Oh, you're the bear.
You've got like bear claws like sticking out, and you're running around whatever wilderness. They took like the engine and stuff that Skyrim game works off of, and they like recreated like a smaller environment and stuff, and added in all the stuff. So that's worth checking out on Kickstarter. It was pretty funny. And
so $15 you can get that.
Yeah, $15 you can get the bear simulator on Kickstarter.
I have to check that out.
Yep.
I kind of like, it depends, I guess, what you're looking for, because I like the third person point of view, because you get to see the goat running, running around with an axe in his tongue and swinging it around. But to be first person, just fuck shit up as a bear. You know, like, it's hours of fun. You know,
hard to pass that.
I'm a bear.
Well, maybe 15 minutes of fun, but still,
it's $15, $1 a minute.
Right.
You know,
I've paid more for less.
And then this day in history, March 21st, 1960.
Yep, Ayrton Senna was born.
Senna.
He was a very famous Formula One driver from Brazil. He won, 3 or 4 world championships, and he died tragically in an accident in '94. But he was very, very famous. And there's a pretty cool documentary on him, just called Senna. And I saw it on Netflix a couple years ago. And it's amazing. He's just really inspirational character for a lot of people, and an amazing driver. Like, that is just a completely different level from anything that you can imagine driving is. I mean, just the things that some of those people can do is beyond belief. I mean,
oh yeah, I can't imagine.
Utterly. Going that fast, it's awesome. I mean,
and it's a lot more skill than going in a circle too. You know, it's
yeah. I mean, it's and not to say there's not skill there too, but
no, there is. But
I mean, even in that, there's different. You can easily recognize one driver's class is far above someone else's. And I guess that's the interesting thing, is all those vehicles are pretty much identical.
Right.
So really what you're testing is the skill of the driver, the crew, the whole deal. But yeah, so I thought that was interesting.
At least he died in Italy.
Yeah.
You know, if I died, like...
Yeah, if you're going to die...
When I die.
Go out on Italy at 200 miles an hour.
Just explode.
Tragic death, but amazing life. He ended, I think by the end of his career, and he was one of the highest paid drivers at the time, his estate was worth over $400 million.
Oh yeah, these Formula One drivers, if you were that good.
Yeah.
Who's the big one now?
Well,
forget his name. I think he's Brazilian too.
Oh, Brazilian.
Not the guy that like just died the other year. You know,
no, he's not. You mean Schumacher? Or
no, the young guy. He wasn't sponsored, and he won the Indianapolis 500.
Oh.
And then he died like the next year.
Oh, okay.
Not that guy.
Yeah.
I would know the guy's name if I heard it. But anyway, they said his worth right now is $1 billion.
It's amazing.
$1 billion. And it's like, wow.
But that's what those races have come to.
Yeah.
That's what that league or whatever it is worth.
And it looks like also 1963 Alcatraz closed.
Yeah, they shut down Alcatraz, 1963.
Wow. I didn't realize it was that long ago.
Yeah. You don't think of it that, but I guess...
For some reason in my head I had it in the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
Shut down. I don't know why. Not that I ever did any.
It was always a weird kind of place. Like, it popped up in weird situations, and you'd hear about it big in like older movies, and
so I was sitting there wondering today, I'm coming across some stories, if liquor's becoming more potent these days, or if people are getting dumber and crazier. Because you have the one story where in Newark, Delaware last week, you had that couple having sex in the daytime.
Right.
And, I mean, just to be that drunk and ridiculous, to go out in the daytime in a parking lot and have sex and people videotaping it.
Yeah.
A little crazy. Then I'm reading a story about this Virginia woman who goes to this pub crawl, so you imagine she was all drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Her husband gets arrested for doing something, whatever. I don't know what he got arrested for, but he goes to jail, to county jail. So later that night, his wife decides she wants to go visit him in the jail. She shows up there drunk off her ass, buck naked.
Yeah, I saw that.
Into the jail. And the cops even offered her. They said, look, because they knew she was way wasted.
Yeah, they gave her like 2 or 3 chances to just...
They said, look, we'll drive you home.
Right.
No charges, nothing.
Understand.
Or you can stay the night in jail. She's like, I want to stay the night in jail.
Yeah.
And they said, you wouldn't believe the number of times when people are offered those 2 choices.
And they choose jail.
They say, I want to stay in jail. What the... I don't know. It's just people doing dumb stuff, and I saw that, and I don't know.
Yeah.
But people are getting ridiculous everywhere. Planet Fitness, exercise place, like a gym you can go to.
Oh yeah, okay, right.
There was a woman there, and she was in a bad car accident a while back, and she's been working out a lot to try to get her body back in shape.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she's in pretty good shape, and I saw a picture of her, and she was wearing like a tube top thing or whatever, like a workout top, and these spandex shorts. And she wasn't like ripped, but she was toned. She was, nice body. One of the workers there comes up to her and says, "Excuse me, ma'am, you need to put more clothes on because you're intimidating all the other people you're trying to work out. Not like you're wearing too few clothes and you look like a whore or anything like that. Your body is intimidating all these other fat asses trying to." And she was like, "What?
Is that their policy?"
So she's like, "Okay." So she's going to put on like a sweater or something, and something that'll cover her body. Before she even gets it on, another employee comes up and tells her about it. And she was like, "I don't get it." So the news gets a hold of it, and they're asking the people, and yes, that's their policy.
If other people are feeling intimidated,
if they feel that other people are going to be intimidated by your body at a gym. Hey, it's like going to Muscle Beach and being like, "Oh, I'm intimidated. Everyone here has to leave."
You better put a snowsuit on.
I don't look like you because you're better than me. And they actually, it is their policy to the point where they have a name for it. And they said it is their policy to ban all gym-timidation. Gym-timidation.
I've never heard of it, but
it's their word. They came up with it.
Yeah.
It was in parentheses and everything. Gym-timidation. But she was like, "You know what? Fuck you guys. I'm leaving.
I'll go to a different gym." And that's what you do.
Yeah.
But
it's like we only cater to fat asses. I don't get that. I would think you would want people in there that look like that.
Yeah.
To be like, "Hey, this is why you want to come here."
Sure.
She comes here and look at her. You one day can intimidate someone.
This is what you can strive for or whatever. I thought that was the point of the gym, really.
Excuse me, sir, can you go to the milkshake bar and suck down about 10 of them? You are way too fit to be here.
That's weird, but if it's their policy, it's their policy. I mean,
it's just a weird policy to have for
it is, but
a place like that.
I'm sure they sat down and had some kind of corporate meeting over it. There's this big debate.
I don't get it.
I don't know. Well, I'm sure they'll lose plenty of customers over it, because if it made the news, then other people are going to see it and be like, "Oh, why?
Screw that."
They'll not have my dollars.
Maybe they'll get other customers like, "Oh, like fat ass, like I'll go to that gym because I don't have to worry about, like I'll fit in. My fat ass will fit in with them."
Yeah, I don't have to worry about, whatever they're
being intimidated.
Yeah. So that's the balance, I guess. The great balance.
That's the world we live in, man. I don't know.
BC. Well, you vote with your dollars in.
Yeah. I mean, it's
society.
It's the power of the penny, man. Money talks. Bullshit walks. Apparently, if you were in shape, you were complete bullshit.
Right. But you won't be walking on that treadmill.
Yeah, you're gonna be getting in your little motorized scooter. I'm out of here.
Taking my business elsewhere. I've got a Connect at home. I don't need this.
I got Biggest Loser on Connect.
They actually do have the Biggest Loser on Connect.
No, we own it.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was going to say, I thought that was a real game.
We've had it, and I know you're looking at my svelte body, and you're saying that thing must work. Mm-hmm. I don't mean to put the game down, because we've only had it for 2 years, and it's still in the cellophane.
Wow.
So, I just haven't...
yeah, you can't comment on its effectiveness.
Exactly. It might work, it might not. I bring it up now and then, like, "Hey, why don't we..." Mm-hmm. And everyone in the house is like,
"How about pasta?"
And that's the... But the argument's good enough for me. They're like, all right, hey,
you
some
sold
other
me.
day. Other day.
Stop twisting my arm.
But it was like right when we got the Connect, and I saw it was on sale for like $20. Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Oh, what a genius idea! We'll get this and we'll compete because we're always good when we can compete against each other. Mm-hmm. It usually drives us. But the problem is we have to start the competition.
Right.
So I'll report on that one day. As long as we keep the show going for another year or two.
Effectiveness of the Connect.
So, painting miniatures.
Hey, did you ever do that when you were a kid?
I did not.
Figurine things.
I was into building models.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you'd have to do a little bit of painting for them, but I never had my dad worked for the Navy Yard, so we would always get like aircraft carriers.
Oh, yeah.
Like that he had worked on to rebuild. But there wasn't much painting. The pieces come in gray.
Sure.
Everything on is pretty much gray. You might have to paint a stripe on the side or something.
Yeah.
So we never really got too big into painting them. But it always seemed interesting. I always see people doing it to the point where they got to hold it under a magnifying glass to get it that refined.
Yeah, I never got to that point, but yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, that's kind of how I started into it too. Like putting models together and stuff, and I started getting into like the smaller and smaller like scale models, and then eventually found there's a couple board games out there like hex-based things like BattleTech, and then the other one I didn't come across that until like years later, but Warhammer, where people are big into that. There's actually one particular guy on my Facebook page. He paints really cool like those figures and stuff, and enters them into contests and all that kind of thing.
Well, I mean, it is an art. It's a true art form.
Yeah, it's amazing like what they can do with like shading and stuff on it.
There's a comic book store in the Granite Run Mall.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
And they have that whole back. Have you been into it recently?
No, not recently, no.
It was on the first floor, like when you walk in. Mm-hmm. So I went there, I don't know, a year or two ago, and I was all stoked to go there. Mm-hmm. And because it's a great comic book shop, especially if you need like back issue stuff. Mm-hmm. They just have a good site. I always like that comic book store. And you roam the back, and the back part was where they do all the gaming with the miniatures and stuff.
Sure, yeah.
It's not there.
Oh, okay.
And I'm freaking out. I'm like, are you shitting me? Like, it's really why I wanted to come here. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, whatever, let's go wander the mall. Half the things in that mall are closed anyway.
Yeah.
So we're on the second floor. They bought out the bookstore. And they are now huge.
Oh, yeah?
And really the comic book section is pretty much the same size, but the rest of it is all that gaming.
Oh, wow.
And they have all these tables set up, and you can join leagues or play games or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they were big into selling those miniatures.
Yeah.
And what they do is, I don't know if the store does it or they have people, outside people to do it, but they buy the miniatures, they paint them, and then they put them on the shelf there and sell them at a much higher price because now they're painted and they're really cool.
Artistic value.
And they would do all different ways. You might have the same character, but painted 5 different ways.
Well, yeah, and people will even take it and they'll like mold the pieces into like a different shape, so it'll be the same figure, but people added things to it, and little tiny details, and it's really cool. Like the imagination it takes to go in and do that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't have the time to do any of that anymore, but yeah, I've got boxes of that stuff up in my attic, like all the stuff I used to paint and everything, and all those games. But that's the other thing is I started getting into games that they took under an hour. Those games take far more than an hour.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
those games take forever.
It's a lot of fun and really detailed, and like it's really representative of like a realistic battle, the kind of things that go on.
I always wanted to walk by them and like, oops, and trip and like fall on their board and just pieces everywhere.
And then they stab you in the neck with their hobby knives. Yeah, we played that for a while. And like I was still doing it a bit, like painting the stuff in high school, and I ended up with that BattleTech game. My parents had a pool table in downstairs, so like I kind of would take over that pool table like on weeks or weekends, and I had this map for BattleTech that was all like, it was all 3-dimensional, so like it was hex based, so like when the things moved, they could move a certain number of spaces. Well, they could also move like vertically up and down hills, and like those angles and stuff mattered. And so it was all 3D, and I set up this whole like league tournament thing with like people that I knew, and they'd come over like during the week or something. We'd play like these long ass games against each other, and this convoluted like way of like buying new things and in the game. But it was a lot of fun. And
you came home one day and your mom threw everything out?
No, not that stuff. She never threw that out. That's actually still upstairs somewhere in my house. It was just a Terrordrome. That's gone. G.I. Joe Terrordrome. I cry for you.
My mom got rid of, I had the Dagobah. from Star Wars where Yoda lived.
Yeah, I remember that with the little foam thing on the side.
Quicksand.
Yeah.
And you could put like all the blocks on these things. You push a button and they'd float like you're using the Force.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking for it one day, and yeah, she threw it out. I said, what'd you throw it at? She said the foam got moldy from being in the basement. I said, then cut out the mold.
Right.
You know, just cut out the sponge, and the Dagobah was still good.
How do you throw out the Dagobah?
I'm telling you, I bet that would have been something that would be worth money right now.
Probably, yeah, I'm sure.
I've never known anyone else that had that. You know, it wasn't...
my friend Joey had that. Pretty sure he had Dagobah.
I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, that thing is awesome, man. I remember that. 'Cause I think it came with like a Yoda or something, like a specific one for it. Because he had like snakes or something.
I'm trying to think.
Or a snake.
I had a Yoda. I don't know if he came with it. I know the one with snakes didn't come with it. They're like orange snakes.
Yeah, I think
he
that
didn't
one
come with it.
Oh, okay.
Because I never had that one.
All right. I thought that was the one that came with it.
So if Yoda came with it, it wasn't orange. Orange snake Yoda.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Cobra.
I remember those orange snakes.
Yeah, because I think he might have been one of the original ones, because I have the Darth Vader head carrying case for the Star Wars figures.
Yeah.
And my daughter has it now. And it comes with an insert that goes in the middle when you fold it up, and it's got like all the characters you can buy from Star Wars. And that Yoda is on. I don't know why the orange snakes would do, because I don't remember orange snakes being in the movie, unless it's been that long since I've seen it.
Yeah, I thought they're like crawling around on his table or something. I don't know.
I don't remember that.
Whatever.
But anyway.
Yeah, those were great, because like the Luke and the Vader, like they had the things would slide out of their wrists for the
that was just
lightsabers,
genius, you know.
Yeah. Well, and you never lost a lightsaber.
Yeah. You lose them eventually, because my Darth Vader doesn't have.
Oh man.
I don't know what happened to us.
I never had those, so I figured those were pretty secure.
No. I mean, they were for my whole, as long as I played with them, and then when I came across them again.
Now, my thing was pretty much anything with Empire. I mean, that was my movie. Anything from like Hoth or Bespin or any of those things. That's the stuff I had.
I was a kid. I was a grandson of our neighbors at the time when I was a kid. And they were from like Texas, so we would just come up a couple weeks a year, and I would have to play with them to keep them occupied.
Yeah.
And he had, man, and he had like toys there, and just his basement was filled with all that stuff. All of it, man. He had like the giant AT-ATs.
Yeah,
I always wanted them. He had the Millennium Falcon.
I never had that.
Big one that the people actually sat in.
It had the secret compartment things where you could smuggle stuff.
I wanted to be like, look, dude, you're here like 2 or 3 weeks a year. How about you let me hold on to all this shit?
I'll take good care of it.
When you come back next year, you know my mom won't have thrown it out. Now.
Yeah, I got into like I take these little like black like grease pencil things. So like I do like battle damage and stuff on it, because you could like put a spot of it and then like wipe it with your thumb and look like I got shot with a laser.
Nice.
So I'd like pockmark up all my stuff.
Nice.
That was great.
Oh, that's when toys were good.
Yeah, it was.
The good old days.
They tried to bring it back.
They did. Just too much out there.
Those figures are alright though. The newer ones that they made.
They're not bad, but you know what it is? They're a different size.
Oh yeah.
Than the original ones.
I don't remember.
Because my daughter likes to buy at least all the women from the movies now, and they're just different scale.
Oh,
so
really?
they don't match up too well. Yeah.
Was it the same company making them, or was it a different?
I don't know. It looked like the same company. You know, because everything like the boards look the same and all that other stuff. Then they came out with like the retro ones, where they're, they come out with the old characters you can buy again, but they're a completely different size from the two of them. They're like smaller. They're real small.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah. So when you go to play with them, and it's like,
the
Leia she has is bigger than the Luke I have. It's like Amazon Leia. You know. It's not the best.
Yeah, that was kind of like the good and bad part of a couple of those toys that came out around that same time. I mean, there was like The G.I. Joes were roughly the same scale as the Star Wars guys, but you know, those two never mixed. Those are two separate universes. So
you don't do that.
They didn't mix like that.
They didn't do crossovers when we were kids.
Yeah, it was okay that they were fine, but like Transformers was a way different scale.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the people that would have had to fit in those things, and like those mask things. Remember that?
Yeah.
And those were a real different scale. They were like tiny little things. And like, I like those better though.
Did you better than Transformers?
Well,
Transformers were badass, man. Except the fact that it took 8 minutes to transform.
Some of the Transformers. There were some Transformers that were not.
Some were quick. Like I remember I had Wheeljack. He was easy to do.
Yeah.
But then I also had Megatron. And that was a weekend project. You know, you'd be playing with him, like, I'm gonna transform him into a gun.
That's not.
You know, and he transformed into a gun that would fit in your hand, but as a robot, he was that big. Like,
right,
I don't know.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense.
Like, I could not do it even with instructions. I still remember I got it. I forget what I got it for, but, like, I couldn't figure it out. We had to go to church. So my dad stayed home, and he spent the entire time we were at church trying to figure out how to transform. You know, and I came back, and he had them all transformed, sitting on the table.
Yeah, that never made it was weird in the cartoon too. Like, you know, he changed scale like in the cartoon.
Yeah, because he'd be as big as the other ones, and he'd transform. And land in, you know.
Yeah, why did they make him like a cannon or something? Like what's his face? Shockwave.
Well, he could also transform his cannon into like a stand-up.
Oh yeah,
like a Gatling gun.
That's right.
But yeah, he just.
Yeah, that was a weird.
Sucked. He-Man were different scale. I'm
thinking of too, like from Transformers that I had Omega Supreme.
Oh.
Did you ever see that thing with like he was like a train or something?
Yeah, it was huge.
I had that for Christmas one year, man. That thing was just, and it was like automated. Like if you put like him all together like as a big robot and turned him on, he would walk.
Oh wow.
Because like the gears like meshed up and.
Wow, that's
cool. Would move and stuff, but it was all. He wasn't a real Transformer to me. Like it was pieces. Like they came off like shells and like made like almost a train track thing, and those were like his legs, and they come together like a. It wasn't even like a clamshell. You had to put it together and then lock it into place with a.
Oh no, I don't want to lock it in.
Yeah, it wasn't a Transformer.
It's not how Transformers work.
But then later on, I got Metroplex. And that was a Transformer, man. Turned into like the city and all that. That thing was amazing.
Wow. Voltron. I always liked Voltron.
I didn't like the cat one. I liked the
yeah, you liked the other one?
I
did.
I liked
Cousins?
The big one. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I didn't like that one.
I hated that whatever the green guy was with the squeaky voice.
Yeah, I didn't like him.
He just needed to be punched in the throat.
He ruined it. He certainly did.
But yeah, I mean, and I never saw enough of the vehicle one, and like I think my cousins had the cat one, and you know people I knew had the cat one. But
I had like one of the cats, so I couldn't do anything with it. And I got pissed off thinking about the vehicle one, because cat one was you had to get 5 cats.
Yeah.
Once you had all 5, you could make Voltron.
Right.
And I only had 1, so I'm still working on them. Then they come out with the vehicle one. Oh, and you need 15 of them.
Yeah.
I'm like, bitches, I can't get 5.
Yeah.
Now I went from needing 4 more to 19 more, and I was done.
Yeah, I had like, I couldn't make the whole thing. There's no way. I had the ground ones and like the air ones, and that's it. Like
you had 2/3 of.
Yeah, it wasn't even close to. You couldn't do anything with it. But then at the same time too, there was like the GoBots.
GoBots were frauds.
They were frauds.
I didn't like the GoBots.
Well,
their toys were weak. Their toys.
Not all of them though. Like there were some good ones.
Yeah.
Like, the one that was bad was like the main bad guy. Like that one was terrible. The motorcycle thing or whatever. That was a terrible one. But they had some really good ones that transformed. There were some good like. Oh yeah. Oh, that's what that made me think of. Did you ever see the Transformer that you could get and like you had to name him, and they'd send him to you in the mail if you sent enough proof of purchases in? And he was a Ferrari. It was like a Ferrari.
I vaguely remember that. Yeah, I vaguely remember that.
Oh man, that's my favorite one, man. I still have it around somewhere. It was the best. Like it had the best transform. It was all like smooth and everything, and that was a perfect Transformer. I did G.I. Joes that were like that too. The ones you could like name and.
I don't remember having to name them.
Yeah, you like named them and you came up with their backstory, and you sent in a thing, and you'd get like their little placard thing that was like on the back of the G.I. Joe thing, and give you that whole thing. My guy's name was Bushido.
Bushido.
I don't know, my dad came on, he's like, use Bushido. It's the best thing. I was like, what's Bushido?
Right on, Dad.
Things. It's the warrior code. It's the greatest thing. Okay. That sounds awesome. Bushido it is. Nostalgia.
I love it. I still have my He-Man too.
Yeah.
And they're in great condition. For the most part. They held up, man.
I don't think I have any of that stuff.
They held up for sure. Except for Skeletor's cat, the Black Panther, or the Purple Panther, whatever it was.
With the fur or whatever.
Yeah, he was like velvety.
Yeah.
And Mom threw him out, so he got moldy too.
It's beautiful. What is that, velvet?
What is that, velvet? Yeah, he got moldy, so I no longer have him.
Yeah. No, that's a shame.
But he got like rabies anyway or something, because like the fur was like falling off.
It started to get mange.
You know, yeah. It was like smooth plastic in some spots. I was like, ooh.
I petted him too much.
Panther, you're not doing very well. I'm gonna take you to the vet.
Did you ever download that He-Man game?
No, I actually thought about it last night. I was thinking about it.
I still haven't either. I gotta find it.
But that was late. Alright, well now it is time to call the desert.
Oh yeah, the desert. The middle of nowhere.
Call the desert. I got feelings.
Yeah.
The number you have dialed has been changed to a conference. You are the only party in this conference.
Son of a bitch.
Total failure.
One day.
That's your dream now?
That's my dream, my goal. That's gonna be so exciting if we actually get somebody. We'll be like, whoa,
hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
We'll be like, we want to put you on a podcast. Is that okay? They'll be like, oh no, and hang up.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers. Call that number again. Oh, but I gotta give out the number.
Yeah, it's true. I just imagine like whoever answers just shouting a stream of curses. You know, that's all it is.
The number is 760-733-9969. Check out where we call the middle of nowhere episode, and you'll hear a whole story behind it and what we're trying to do.
Yeah. I'm used to every other like online or multiplayer experience, just that being that. The internet plus anonymity.
Yeah, it's just it'll be some 13-year-old boy, you know, calling us the N-word or something. You know?
It was the best like comic strip on Penny Arcade. They had this thing like it was like Gabriel's greater internet theory, and it was the internet plus anonymity equals fucktard, and it was like the pictures were like just, you know, like a regular guy, you know, and then just the anonymity of everything, you know, plus, and then equals this. And there was this guy just like freaking out, and like he was just, the speech bubble just said shit cock. And that's what it is. I mean, every time
so true.
I've ever done anything, it's just people that just can't handle.
Yeah. That's where they get their frustrations out without having to be caught. You know? So, University of Manchester.
Yeah.
What is it here they discovered? A new... that controls our body's clock.
Oh yeah, the
Can't
yeah,
that word. Madranisson medical
Anyway, it was a thing for they discovered this chemical that your body releases, like some kind of hormone that is the thing that controls our circadian rhythms.
Mm-hmm.
So what really tells you when it's day and night, and when you go somewhere that is like you're not used to it, you get jet lag and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Well, they've discovered the hormone that is, and they've been able to treat it and get rid of it in lab rats, so where they can just adjust to it instantly to whatever night and day cycle environment that they're in.
You would use it if you're traveling?
Well, not only traveling, the first thing I thought of was space travel, because there is no night and day cycle in space.
Right.
You know? So if you could get rid of that natural night and day cycle, or if you could control that in a way where, you know, get the maximum number of hours out of your day without, you know, needing as much.
This is part of it here, the enzyme, CK1 epsilon.
Right, that's the name of the enzyme that they came across.
If it's inhibited, it changes much easier.
Yep.
I wonder if you could use it for babies that have their days and nights mixed up. Would that help with that, you think?
Yeah, it could. I'm sure that's...
Yeah, I know some babies are horrible.
That's part of that, getting that rhythm down.
Yeah.
You know, if
I don't know if it's something you could give a baby due to a baby.
Yeah, so we probably don't want to...
They're so defenseless. We can do whatever we want to them.
Yeah, just inject them up. They're just like lab rats anyway. But, yeah, it's probably something they've got to adjust to anyway to get, the rhythm down initially. But, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
That is neat. Especially the space idea. I like the space.
Yeah, that was the first thing that came to my mind. I don't know if they mentioned it in the article, but...
I was looking at, now I like hockey, right? I really like hockey. And they're known to be a little crazy. You know, they take a puck to the face and they just go in, get stitched up, and they're right back on the ice.
Right.
Some of them have even broken legs. And they go in and they just put in a brace. And they come out. Yeah, it's the old school, really, anymore. They're a little more pussified than that. But they're the crazy or badass, whatever. Well, someone has reached a new tier of insanity or craziness. A New Zealand rugby player. His name is Wayne Buck Shelford. And Buck is his nickname. He was playing a game and he took a cleat to the crotch. Well, the cleat ripped open his scrotum to the extent of his testicle hanging out. Oh. His testicle was hanging down out of his scrotum, just ripped that shit right open. And how you doing, testicle?
Wow.
He goes over on the bench. They stitch him up on the bench. Comes back out, finishes the game.
Wow. Never again can he be accused of anything.
No.
Ever.
I mean, that is the most badass dude on the face of the earth. You know, even if any of these Arnold Schwarzenegger characters were real characters, no, this guy is more badass.
Yeah, nothing comes close to that I've ever heard of. That's a career-ending injury for anyone
usually
else.
if you raise a testicle, I'm like, game over, I'm done for the day.
Let alone it sees the light of day.
The pain hurts too much, and and just...
It came out for a breather.
Oh, man.
To sew that back up.
Oh. So yeah, he's the badass of the universe ever. I don't see... The only way you could be a little more crazy ever in the future is if, like, the testicle got cut off and you said, fuck it, I'm finishing the game.
Yeah, put it in a jar.
Yeah, keep that one on the shelf. But,
God, I'm like, it physically hurts me.
Yeah, just
to
thinking
hear that
about
story.
it.
Like, I'm uncomfortable, like, sitting in my seat.
I'm like, no. Like, and this dude, like, even looks like a badass. But I still never, you could show me the most badass looking guy.
Yeah.
And I would have been like, no one could ever do that.
No.
They're like, you think he could rip out a testicle, stitch it up on the bench, and come back? Nah, sorry, dude, no one's that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this one is.
Yeah, Wayne Buck Shelford is.
Man, that is the man.
Oh, and I started thinking, like, even though it would be painful if your testicle's hanging out, would it feel cool to the testicle? Like, would your testicle feel cold? Because it's like the warmest part of the body, and it's trapped in. It's like,
I've been waiting for
it. But, no. God. And I just can't imagine that's safe, because especially like sitting on the bench, like, there's got to be dirt and infection going on. And if there's any place I don't want infection, it's
and you're playing a game too, where you're running around.
Yeah, you're gonna run around. You're just gonna have to take another knee to the crotch, or because they're always, they don't have any like pads, and apparently they don't wear cups.
I don't know, man.
If a cleat can rip your shit right open.
I don't know. I thought they did. Well, maybe they don't, depending on where you are or who you are.
Buck doesn't.
Buck doesn't.
But apparently because he doesn't need to.
Maybe he
has no feeling in his testicles. You know? Oh
my gosh, man.
I mean, I know we were playing hockey one time and I took a hockey ball to the nuts. Mm-hmm. And that just put me. I was on the ground. I thought I was sort of like dry heaving. I thought I was going to throw up. And it didn't even get ripped open.
Nothing.
You know, to the
There's
point
no
I didn't
stitches.
just, like that, I would be done.
We used to play with this one. It was like it was shaped like a puck, and it had like 3 layers.
Balls. Oh.
And no, it had like holes in it, like grooves in it. And that's what we used to play. We used to play up at UD, like play roller hockey on one end.
We used to play. They had like little like ball bearings in them, so that they would glide.
Yeah.
We used them. That's when I came up with the love glove, because I didn't wear a cup. I would play goaltender and not wear a cup. So once I got, we played street hockey, and once I took the ball to the balls, I got a big old winter glove, and I stuffed that down there, and that was my love glove.
That's enough padding.
So, here we are, another good way to end the show on a positive note. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Driver Passenger. Check out our website, TwoCommute, TWOcommute.com. Check out our Facebook page, The Commute, and email us at thecommutepodcast@comcast.net. See you then.
Yep.